February 25, 1883. After his noon meal, the master conversed with the devotees. Ram, Kedar, Nityagopal, M, and others had arrived from Calcutta. Rakhal, Harish, Latu, and Hazra were living with the master. Mr. Chaudhuri, who had 3 or 4 university degrees and was a government officer, was also present. He had recently lost his wife and had visited the master several times for peace of mind. Master to Ram and the other devotees. Devotees like Rakhal, Narendra, and Bhavanath may be called Nitya Siddha. Their spiritual consciousness has been awake since their very birth. They assume human bodies only to impart spiritual illumination to others. There is another class of devotees known as Kripa Siddha. That is to say, those on whom the grace of God descends all of a sudden, and who at once attain His vision and knowledge. Such people may be likened to a room that has been dark 1,000 years, which, when a lamp is brought into it, becomes light immediately, not little by little. Those who lead a householder's life should practice spiritual discipline. They should pray eagerly to God in solitude. To Mr. Chaudhuri, God cannot be realized through scholarship. Who indeed can understand the things of the Spirit through reason? No. All should strive for devotion to the lotus feet of God. Infinite are the glories of God. How little can you fathom them? Can you ever find out the meaning of God's ways? Bhishma was none other than one of the 8 Vasus, but even he shed tears on his bed of arrows. He said, "How astonishing! God Himself is the companion of the Pandava brothers, and still there is no end to their troubles and sorrows. Who can ever understand the ways of God?" A man thinks, "I have practiced a little prayer and austerity, so I have gained victory over others." But victory and defeat lie with God. I have seen a prostitute dying in the Ganges and retaining consciousness to the end. Footnote: dying in the Ganges while retaining full consciousness is considered by the Hindus as an act of great spiritual merit and the result of pious living. Footnote ends. Mr. Chaudhuri: how can one see God? Master: not with these eyes. God gives one divine eyes, and only then can one behold him. God gave Arjuna divine eyes so that he might see his universal form. Footnote: an allusion to the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Footnote ends. Your philosophy is mere speculation. It only reasons. God cannot be realized that way. God cannot remain unmoved if you have raga bhakti. That is, love of God with passionate attachment to him. Do you know how fond God is of his devotees' love? It is like the cow's fondness for fodder mixed with oil cake. The cow gobbles it down greedily. Raga Bhakti is pure love of God, a love that seeks God alone and not any worldly end. Prahlad had it. Suppose you go to a wealthy man every day, but you seek no favor of him. You simply love to see him. If he wants to show you any favor, you say, "No, sir, I don't need anything. I just came to see you." Such is the love of God for its own sake. You simply love God and don't want anything from him in return. Saying this, the Master sang, "Though I am never loath to grant salvation, I hesitate indeed to grant pure love. Whoever wins pure love surpasses all. He is adored by men. He triumphs over the three worlds." Footnote: the song represents Sri Krishna's words. Footnote ends. He continued, "The gist of the whole thing is that one must develop passionate yearning for God and practice discrimination and renunciation.